Now, predict the future, and knowing how best to invest in property, well, it's always unpredictable.
Yeah, that's true, Lucy, but it doesn't have to be too overwhelming. My advice would be, how could you add value?
Well, one way you can do that is to head down to your local property auction. Well, property auctions throw up all sorts of auction lots. Over the years, I've seen everything from public toilets to water towers.
But what was in the auction catalogues for today's buyers?
Yes, what do they walk away with? Let's find out.
First up in Stratford, London, I put my foot in it.
Yep, floorboards need replacing.
Whilst in Peterlee, County Durham, I can't really get my head around it.
Checking the accuracy of instrumentation.
That's just completely gone over my head, that.
And in Newcastle upon Tyne, Lucy needs to watch her step.
Well, talk about literally falling in the front door.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid when they went under the hammer.
Sold.
Stratford in East London is about 7 miles from central London. It's seen a lot of regeneration with spin-offs from the Olympics, like the Queen Elizabeth Park, various sporting venues and one of Europe's biggest shopping centres. With all of that going on, it's bound to have a buoyant property market.
How you like me now? How you like me now? Oh, just down the road from West Ham Park, 10 minutes walk from the nearest tube, is the property I'm here to see. £360,000 was the guide price for this. It's a 3-bed mid-terrace. As you can see, lots of shuttering on the outside. Not an auspicious start. Let's hope it's better inside. So hopefully better when you come inside. And, well, it obviously hasn't been lived in, or possibly lived in, but not updated for a while, which could be good, because there could be features, and in fact, look at that. Some of the coving straight away, very pretty indeed, a nice sort of feel the moment you walk through the door. A little corridor there, and then into this room here, you sort of one of the main living areas here. Little bay window there, that could be quite nice. Ooh, yes, lovely. Original features, bit of a ceiling rose going on. Nice fireplace, wooden flooring that looks to be in really nice condition, so you could strip that back. Large archway through to the rear sitting room, and yeah, it's going to take a bit of imagination, and it's a lot of money for a house in this kind of condition, but it's looking positive.
I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. Oh, no. So don't you bring me down today.
OK, so it's not beautiful in every way, and lots of stuff will be coming down, but there are some really lovely period features in here.
Well, it's quite extensive, this property. Not so much at the front, but it goes back and back and back and back down this corridor here. You've got a little access to the rear garden area there. And then this sort of, what I imagine was originally, well, I can't quite imagine it. It's a kitchen, I guess, although it doesn't show any signs of having been a kitchen. What it does show signs of is, look at this. Not good at all. Yep, floorboards need replacing. Actually, more than they did 3 seconds ago, but anyway, not to worry, consider it a small token of thanks for allowing us to be here. Anyway, the kitchen. Oh, no, there is one. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Here it is, and it's perfect. Look, a little bit of cream cleaner on that. Not a problem. And we're delighted to say that this house comes with white goods. Well, they're not so much white. Oh, look. Lovely. No. Anyway, yuck. What is more serious and going to take slightly more time to resolve is this. Very, very nasty crack. That needs investigating. I wonder what's going on there. So anyway, the joy continues because just there is the only bathroom in the property. And there's no running water either. Oh dear. I wish I hadn't done that.
Don't do it, don't you do it, don't you do it. Baby, please don't do it. Do it.
Yes, you'd think after all these years I'd know better than that. Anyway, back to the house, and just off the hallway there are stairs down to a useful little cellar. Upstairs there is yet more space. 3 really good-sized bedrooms that all obviously need a lot of work, but the potential is there, and... well, I spoke too soon. Earlier, there is a bathroom up here, albeit a rather small one. It might be an idea to use some of the space up here to make a bigger family bathroom. While you're at it, how about looking into the roof? I happen to know that several properties on this road have converted their attics into extra bedrooms. You'd need to get planning permission, of course, but in such a sought-after area, it's bound to add value. At the back, there is a modest garden and a very dodgy-looking lean-to type of thing that will need to come down. But in London, any outdoor space is a bonus, so another tick. There is a lot of house here in London terms for that guide price of $360,000, but it's going to take a really healthy budget to make it habitable. Time to get the thoughts of a local property agent.
The size of the property is actually quite good. Evidently, it needs quite a lot of work. However, it's got quite a lot of potential. It's definitely worth looking at extending the property into the loft. Adding an additional bedroom to the property would add great values to the property also, in addition to the fact that if you were to rent the property out, you'd be obviously getting a much higher rental value on the property as well.
OK, so that's something for the buyer to consider depending on their plans for the property. What kind of values, sales and rental would the agent put on the property if it stayed as a 3-bed?
As a 3-bedroom house, once a refurbishment has been done on the property, we'll be confident in achieving anything between £525,000 up to about £550,000. We'll be confident in getting £1,800 a month up to about £1,900 a month, subject to whether the property's furnished or unfurnished.
And what about if it did get turned into a 4-bed?
We'll be confident in achieving around the region of £600,000 up to about £625,000. With the additional 4th bedroom in the property, we would be looking to achieve about £2,100 per month.
Well, it's got no windows downstairs. The kitchen is horrendous. Oh, the bathroom, don't even talk about it. It's got rot, it's falling to pieces, it's got that massive crack. You don't know what it's all about. Honestly, what a fantastic opportunity. You are in a really good location with this one, and all those big problems that could make people go, no way, actually make this a really interesting investment opportunity because it could put people off. Let's see who saw the opportunity rather than the mess when it went under the hammer.
I'm going to start at 4:30 on this one. So 4:30 down here, 4:30, 4:35, 4:35, 4:40, 4:45, 4:50, 4:55. New spot, 4:55, standing up, 4:55, 4:60.
The property got off to a flyer, and we rejoin it at 480,000.
480, 485, 485, 490, 490, 495, 495, 499, 500. You 500? If not, 499. First time, second time, third and last time. Have you all done? No, can't quite sell at that.
The bids didn't quite meet the reserve. However, after a little bit of negotiating, the seller did agree to a final figure of $476,000. The successful bidders were married couples and friends, K-Wall and Shavita, there on the left, and Rags and Richa. This was their first project together, and it fell to K-Wall and Richa to tell me about their plans.
OK, well, Richard, good to see you both. Congratulations.
Same here.
Tell me why you wanted to buy this house.
Basically, we saw good potential in this property. It's kind of investment because we have been known to each other as a family friends.
OK.
She's a good friend of mine, and my wife and her goes well. You know, and they have like good skills of interior designing and all.
Oh, wow.
So that's the reason we thought let's do some business together and see how it goes.
What was it particularly about this house that you liked?
We like, you know, it has got big scope, good ceilings, and you know, this can, at the moment, this is 3-bedder. We can convert it to 5 if you want,
wow.
or if not, 4 is the minimum we could do that.
And what was it you liked about it?
We plan to do the loft conversion, basically. So right now it's like 3 beds. So loft, we'll see how it goes. Like we can put 2 bedrooms or maybe 1 with their own suite in it. So yeah. And then...
So was that one of the big things that appealed? The fact there is this potential to extend and upwards.
Yeah, I mean, it opens kind of so many avenues to it, isn't it? So, yeah, we're just going to expand on it and see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
What's the conversion going to involve?
Right, so if we are going to have like 5 bedrooms, then we might put a dormer and everything stuff. Otherwise, we may not. It depends on how like planning permission, you know, gives us approvals and all.
Having a 4th and maybe even a 5th bedroom is ambitious and will definitely depend on planning. This new property team are certainly not afraid to take on a challenge, and their plans don't end with a loft extension.
And we just plan to open the kitchen, to knock down all the walls till the end of the house and just make it an open plan, big kitchen diner sort of a thing.
Nice.
And then bringing the WC from behind of the house to the middle of the house, and then adding another toilet upstairs, and then the loft conversion.
OK. So what budget have you got set aside?
Overall, it's going to be 70K if we include loft, plus 10K contingency, so it's 80K we are budgeted for.
Adding bedrooms and opening up the kitchen is bound to increase the value, although at the moment they are planning to wait and see how the market is before they decide whether to rent or sell. And they're hoping the work to get it ready for either market will take around 2 months.
So, yeah, so who's going to do the work in terms of the physical work?
Of course, we'll not be doing. We have lined a few builders, and we've got some quotations with them. And then we have shortlisted, in fact, 2 builders.
OK.
We still need to finalize, like, you know, at the beginning, everything looks very perfect. Like, you know, when we get there, then you might have some issues with the builder and all. So we're just thinking which one is good and which one is bad, and all. So just we need to take a call on that.
Well, listen, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing how you get on.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, it seems like there could be money to be made on this house in Stratford. How will the team get on sorting it out? And will they go for 4 bedrooms or 5? You can find out later in the show.
Today I'm in County Durham, and it's a place of contrasts. This is the pretty seaside town of Seaham, and yet I'm only 6 miles away from former coal mining villages like Easington on the outskirts of Peterlee. Both towns have plenty of amenities, so you've got loads of choice. So not far from the town centres of Peterlee and Seaham is the property I'm here to see. And here it is, and it looks in really good condition. And this wall out here looks pretty new as well. It's got 3 bedrooms, a guide price of £20,000, and you get yourself a bit of a yard area as well. Not bad. Nice. As soon as you come in, you've got the bathroom right in front of you. It looks like a brand new bathroom suite. Looks like it's been painted, new flooring as well. Down a small step into what should be the kitchen. There isn't a kitchen in here as yet. Now, if you were looking to get a mortgage on this property, you'd find it difficult because mortgage lenders won't lend on a property that doesn't have a kitchen. Believe it or not, most mortgage lenders set a minimum amount you can borrow. It varies from lender to lender, but anything below 40 grand can be tricky to get a mortgage for. So this looks like it's going to be a cash buyer. In the house itself, there's central heating throughout, and the master bedroom has generous proportions. In fact, all 3 bedrooms are a reasonable size. And as like downstairs, new carpets, and it's recently been painted. Now, let's say you got this place for £20,000, which is the guide price, and you rented it out for £400 a month. You could have this place paid off in 4 years. This is an absolute bargain. If I leave now, I might just make that auction. See ya. Yes, I know, I've missed the boat on that potential 24% yield. Now, joking aside, in order to combat antisocial behaviour and low demand, the council have brought in the selective licence scheme in this particular area. The downside is the landlords have to apply and pay for the licence, but the upside is definitely worth it. Landlords get support on vetting and dealing with tenants, and overall, the licensing scheme has helped to improve the values in this area. So I'm out the back or out the front, I'm really not sure. On that side of the property, you've got a paved area, bit of a backyard on that side. And here you've got a small grassed area, needs a bit of weed killer, a bit of grass seed, this would be fine. But what I have noticed is the local authority must have spent a few quid in the area because the bricks have been repointed. There's a brand new door on, and almost all the houses have got brand new double glazed windows. So this place has got everything, apart from the kitchen sink. We called in a local estate agent to see if she could shed some light on the area and this property. She might be able to tell us which is the front door and which is the back.
Front to back, back to front, will you come backwards with me?
Well, the area, it's been the subject of local authority regeneration over the last 5-10 years, which has worked really well, you know, brought it up quite a bit from, you know, where it was. You have a lot of people who will rent the properties, but they're also a good investment for, you know, potential landlords.
What about this property?
Well, first impressions are the property has had a lot of work done to it, which is only beneficial. And I think, you know, you would get landlords who would be interested, have minimal work to do in consideration to some properties where they've got to come in and do a total refurb. And I think it'll be attractive for them. The return and everything would be good. It would tick boxes.
Apart from the kitchen box, that is. But is this just landlord territory? Could it interest home buyers?
I think the property would appeal to both landlords, investors, and for people to live in. It's cheap, affordable housing, not bad size housing for the area, and good return for a landlord.
But before they can rent it out, potential landlords will need to apply to the council for the licence, which costs around £450. So what rent could they expect to achieve?
If you were to put this property on the rental market with the kitchen installed, I would expect to achieve somewhere in the region of £425 per calendar month to £475 per calendar month.
Wow, that rental figure is even higher than the one I used for my calculations. So it's a rental machine, or it's a good, affordable home. But what if you wanted to fit a kitchen and a general refurb to sell it? Would it be worth it? Bearing in mind that guide price of 20 grand.
You would probably look to marketing the property anywhere between the £25,000 to £30,000.
All in all, this house has a lot going for it, but it might take a landlord with a bit of cash to recognise the real potential here. Let's see what happened when it went to auction.
OK, we're moving on now to lot number 18. I've got a telephone bid on this one. £20,000. What can you buy for £20,000? At £20,000? 15 then. Let's move it away quickly. 15 on bid. 16, 17, 18. It's against the phones with you. 18, 19, 20. Here at 19, 20 on the phone, 21. You're out here at 20. At £20,000. Are we done? Phone's getting it at £20,000. Are you sure? You're away at £20,000 then. First time, second time. All done then. To the phone.
So the telephone bidder won the day with a bid bang on the guide price. The bidder was Steve, who came along to tell me about this bargain. Steve, nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was it about this property that you like so much?
I think the starting bid initially...
Is that what it was?
Yep, it was. It was the starting bid initially, and I had looked at various other properties at the same time, round about similar sort of values. This was the last property that I seen, and basically just couldn't believe it compared to what I had seen. So I thought, yep, need to go for this one.
And what were the other ones like?
The other ones were in a right state. A lot of money needed to spend on them just to correct, you know, other bad workmanship in a sense.
Of course, there is one thing other houses have that this one doesn't: a kitchen.
Had a good look round, realised it didn't have a kitchen. That wasn't an issue to me. I was a cash buyer, so...
OK, so you knew it would have been difficult to get a mortgage without a kitchen.
It is difficult to get a mortgage without a kitchen, so...
Not a problem to you?
Not a problem with me, no.
Ready to go?
Yep.
What are your plans then, Steve? Tell us what you're going to do with this property.
Well, I've had a good look around the place. I've looked at everything that needs doing, and really it is just the kitchen. Everything else is in good order, and the kitchen's not a big problem to fit in.
It's more or less what are you not going to do, because it's all more or less been done for you.
Yeah, it is. It's, you know, obviously the last person that had the property has obviously done a bit decorating themselves. For whatever reason, they haven't fitted the kitchen. That's fine. It's blank canvas for me. I can fit whatever.
So have you done this many times before, Steve? What's your day job, first and foremost?
Metrologist.
OK. You might have to explain that to me. I'm not quite sure what that is.
Well, basically, it's calibration work. It's to do with, like, weights and measures in various fields: electrical, pressure, temperature. And it's checking the accuracy of instrumentation.
That's just completely gone over my head, that. I'm actually still none the wiser on what Steve's job is here. But anyway, he also rents out a pub and has some residential developing on his CV. Having rented and sold in the past, he hasn't made up his mind on what to do with this one. OK, so in regards to the property, what's your budget got to be? Because there's hardly anything to do. I know you've got to put a kitchen in, but what is your budget for this property?
1,000 to 1,500, depending on the type of quality of the kitchen that I'll be putting in. There's obviously sink taps going in. There's a little bit of work on the boiler as well. One of the pipes is broken there, so I'll have to fix that as well.
And how long is it going to take you just to turn this place around?
Going to turn around within 2 weeks, but mainly it'll be just a full weekend.
So who's going to be doing the measurements in the kitchen?
I'll certainly be doing the measurements in the kitchen.
Don't get them wrong.
Definitely.
Please don't get them wrong, whatever you do.
Yeah.
What I did notice, though, Steve, as I was walking down the street here, all the windows in the street seem to be brand new.
They do. That surprised me as well. When I was in the starting bit of the property, that intrigued me, first of all, but when I come to see the property, I noticed that all the windows, and there had been other exterior work that had been done to all the properties prior, which again added obviously extra interest to make sure I got this property.
And you've got a little bit of garden out the front as well.
The back garden or backyard is more favoured to the residents around this area, but it does have a front garden as well, which is a nice little size, easy to maintain. Yeah.
And this has got to be one of the easiest, surely, that you'll be turning around.
It is unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
Were you surprised when you got it for 20 grand, didn't you?
I was notified that I won the bid. I just couldn't believe it. I was absolutely speechless. Yeah, still can't believe it.
Well, it looks like we'll be coming back very quickly to see how you got on with this one. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, pal.
Cheers.
So metrologist Steve has only got the kitchen to put in because everything else has been done for him. But when we come back, will that kitchen be made to measure? You can find out how it gets on later in the programme.
Still to come in Leamington, Newcastle upon Tyne, Lucy comes up against a familiar foe.
First things first, it absolutely stinks of damp.
And in County Durham, sometimes everything just falls into place.
Everything just went according to plan.
We return to the booming area of Stratford in East London. After the 2012 Olympics, Stratford has undergone something of a renaissance, although the three-bed mid-terrace I was here to see looked more likely to pick the wooden spoon than Olympic gold.
Look at this. Not good at all. Yep, floorboards need replacing.
With a guide price of $360,000, this property was damp and dingy, although there were some positives. We're delighted to say that this house comes with white goods. Well, they're not so much white. Ooh, look. Lovely! Yes, a property like this needed vision and imagination, so 4 heads were bound to be better than one. Buying the property for $476,000 were married couples Kewal and Shavita and Rags and Richer. The foursome have been friends for 10 years, and this was to be their first property investment. They certainly didn't lack ambition.
We plan to do the loft conversion, basically. So right now it's like 3 beds. So loft, we'll see how it goes. Like we can put 2 bedrooms or maybe 1 with their own suite in it. So yeah. And then...
So was that one of the big things that appealed, the fact there is this potential to extend and upwards?
Yeah, it opens kind of so many avenues to it, isn't it? So yeah, we're just going to expand on it and see how it goes from there.
Including a loft conversion, they had a budget of £70,000 plus a £10,000 contingency, and they hoped to get the work done in 3 months. Well, we've returned 3.5 months later to see if they've managed to turn this property from bog standard to Olympic gold standard. Talk about transformation. It was dirty, dilapidated and depressing. Now it's a huge kitchen diner. Kewal explains exactly what they've done.
What we have done is we have knocked off all the walls. There was loo there and there was kind of storage space there and there was a wall here. So what we have done is we have extended it to make the open wide kitchen, and we have put everything literally brand new kitchen. Like we have redone everything, like rewiring, replastering. So in the end, we are pleased with the results, really.
Yes, it's stunning, and it doesn't stop there. The living area at the front of the property is really beautifully done. They've maintained the period features while bringing it up to date, and the new flooring is a real touch of class. The idea to add a door into the garden here also shows they've really thought about how best to use the space they had. Of course, the big question here was always whether they would convert the loft, so time to find out. Wow, they really went for it. A really nice loft extension. We'll need Rags for this.
Quite a lot has changed here. Well, it's a brand new floor, as you can see. This initially was only a 3-bedroom, and we converted that into a 5-bedroom house. Well, brand new big bedroom. We have Juliet balcony, which is always an asset, because again, more light into the house. On the other side, we have a brand new bathroom with a shower and a skylight window that gives a lot of light. And another bedroom there, which a good double-sized bedroom. So, overall, it's a pretty spacious one and, a very bright house, I'd say.
Down a level, the 3 pre-existing bedrooms have been completely renovated to the same standard that runs throughout. They've extended the bathroom into the landing to make it large and family-friendly. Downstairs, they've moved the WC under the stairs. Outside, they've made the most of the space they had. Extensions, conversions, renovations, you name it, they've done it.
It was fantastic, really. It was a really great experience. Like, we went along together, no issues at all, because we've been like family friends for 10 years now. So this is extra addition to that, and so it's a really great journey, great experience.
We actually help each other out. So when I was busy, Kewal stepped in, and vice versa. So that's how it works, in the project. And same with the wives as well. Structural decisions, architectural decisions. It's all their contribution. Unfortunately, they couldn't come today, but here we go.
In fact, financial decisions also, they were like the main contributor. We thought, okay, we'll save money here, but just said, okay, let's not do that, cut the corners and save money. That's because it's a big-time investment.
So wives Shavita and Richo were pulling the purse strings, and I'm glad to report that they've stayed within their budget, spending £75,000 in total. They only overran their 3-month timescale by 2 weeks. The couples plan to sell the property, but they are also open to renting. An ideal time then to hear the thoughts and opinions of 2 local estate agents.
Adding a loft extension to the property adds value to the house and also brings in the family market, which presumably the vendor is looking for to sell this particular property.
It's not your typical refurbishment. He's obviously set it out so he gets maximum either a rental or sale price on it. I think he's done a very good job. You certainly have a demand for 5-bedroom properties in this area as well. And obviously for him to achieve the maximum for his investment, 5 bedrooms is definitely the right decision to make.
Well, let's find out if it was a wise move financially. The couples ended up spending a total of £551,000 here. So what kind of rental return could they expect?
I think we should be quite confident in achieving a minimum of about £2,750 per calendar month.
You're looking to achieve within the region of $2,750 per calendar month to $3,000.
That top rental figure would equate to a rental yield of around 6.5%, not too shabby. But what about resale valuations?
This property should be put on the market at £650,000.
If I was to have this property on the market, I'd have it at a valuation of £650,000 to £675,000 with the view to achieving the maximum.
That top valuation would mean a whopping pre-tax profit of £124,000, which makes their maiden property project a stunning success. So, what does the future hold?
We put the property in the market, we'll see how the response is, and then possibly, if we sell the property, then possibly we will move on to the next one. If not, also, we might just rent it out and move on to the next one.
Yes. Yeah, that's a plan. I mean, we might take a short break, maybe go on a cruise. So, you know.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Leamington in Newcastle upon Tyne is Lucy's destination today. It's an area steeped in industrial history, illustrated by the Great Brick Glassworks cone built in 1787. Around the area, there are the remnants of the arteries of industry, from coke ovens to ironworks. But the heart of Leamington is still beating strong as an ideal commuter area close to the A1.
Well, the property I'm here to see is just over here. It's got 2 bedrooms and the guide price, £36,000 plus, so not bad, really. But I tell you one thing I really do like, well, you can see it's off the main road here, so there'll be hardly any traffic noise, which is a real bonus. Let's see if there's more good news on the inside.
Looks like you might have to do some work out here. That fence has seen better days, and the garden hasn't seen a mower for some time.
Well, talk about literally falling in the front door. That does not look safe. Goodness me, I'd want to investigate underneath that lino. So walking in the hallway, first things first, it absolutely stinks of damp. I'm sure a lot of the walls are wet to the touch, but look at this. I mean, look. There you go. Just peel the wallpaper off. Not a good start. So through here, we've got 2 reception rooms. Now, you can see there's a little door divider here. I'm just wondering, this probably would have been 2 separate rooms, because if you come into here and you give the walls a little knock, well, you can see originally there would have been a doorway there. So you could reinstate that doorway, close this up and have a nice cosy little room. And actually, there's some nice cornicing in here. And then you've got a second reception room, which if it were mine, I would probably open up the kitchen to have a nice open plan kitchen diner and have that as a separate entity.
It's a real house of the senses, this one. You can see some nice original features and the potential for a new layout. You can hear it crying out for modernisation, but there is a scent in the air that suggests a lot of work ahead.
And I smell trouble. I smell trouble ahead of me.
But before even thinking of any changes to the kitchen or the layout, Lucy needs to follow her nose to the source of the damp.
So let's have a look around upstairs. Well, it still absolutely stinks of damp up here. And the bathroom leaves a lot to be desired, don't you think? And it's a bit too small. Bit of a shame, because the further up the property you come, well, the more spacious it feels. But that is the culprit, I think. You can see a big old damp patch up there and millions of cobwebs. They're everywhere, in my hair. Oh, don't like cobwebs. So bedroom number 1, a really good size, but in a terrible state. But right at the front of the property, the master bedroom. Look at the space in here. What a luxury to have a bedroom this big. You've got a lovely view out to the park just out there. But I'm wondering how you could utilise this. Is it worth putting in a partition and creating that 3rd bedroom? Would you want to maybe install an ensuite bathroom in here? It's great you've got so many options, and I love it that it's so spacious upstairs.
Before thinking about turning this big bedroom into 2 or altering the bathroom, you'd need to focus on that roof and getting a damp-proof course. It might be less wet outside.
With these workmen's houses, you don't always get a back garden, and sadly with this one, you just get this backyard. But I suppose you have got a little bit of outside space, but quite a lot needs to be repaired here. The wall, it needs to be tidied up, and, well, I've seen a roof garden before, but never a drain garden.
The greenery and the guttering and the fact that some of it seems to be unattached to the building might just be a clue to one factor in the damp issue. We asked the local estate agent along to have a look at this property, guided at $36,000.
The property needs a complete refurb throughout. It's in not the best condition, so certainly with the time, effort and care spent with a potential buyer, it should make an attractive purchase. I'd estimate to spend between £15,000 and £20,000 on this property to get it fully up to speed.
What does the agent think of the idea of adding a 3rd bedroom?
In my opinion, I'd be looking to keep this property as a 2-bedroom terrace property. It should attract more potential buyers and tenants that way. 3rd bedroom could be a costly exercise, so 2 bedrooms probably the way forward.
OK, in that case, what would the house be worth as a 2-bed for sales and rentals?
If this property was refurbished throughout, I would expect it to achieve somewhere in the region of £65,000. In my opinion, if this property was fully refurbished, I would expect it to rent for a figure of £500 per calendar month.
And the agent believes the 3-bed might sell for £75,000 or rent for £650 per calendar month. Whatever you choose to do, there is some serious graft ahead.
Now, there's no getting away from the fact this house needs a lot of work. I don't think you could or would want to salvage much in there, but I do think there's a great little property lurking somewhere. And the fact it's opposite a park means it could really appeal to the family market. And that guide price should also spark a fair bit of interest. Let's see what happened when it went under the hammer.
And we move over the page to lot 43, and we have telephone bids in on this property. 38,000 to start me, £38,000, 36, 36,000, 36 I've got by the back, thank you. At £36,000, the opening bid. At 36, 37 somewhere, 37 is bid. 38, on the phone at £38,000. 39 is bid. At 39, at 40, 40,000. £40,000, 41 quickly.
The auction battle was locked between the phone bidder and the bidder in the room, and we rejoin at £46,500.
47, on the phone at £47,000. 500, £47,500. 48, 48,000. One more, sir. 49, 49. 500 again. 49,000 on the phone. 500. Yes, 49,500. £49,500. Once, twice, third time. Sold at 49,500. Thank you.
So, in a ding-dong battle between the phone bidder and the room, Chris prevailed with a bid of 49,500. He's an experienced full-time developer and he knows this area very well indeed. Time to find out his plans for this soggy property.
Chris, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
So why did you want to buy this property?
Well, I've got 2 in the street there what I'm currently working on, and I'm buying the houses in this area for about £20,000 less than I buy in other parts of Newcastle.
Is this an area that's probably due to come up, but it hasn't quite reached its peak?
I'm hoping so, because it's close to the A1, you know, the main route. It's not far from the airport. It's handy for Newcastle. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a great capital appreciation immediately, you know, but maybe long term.
So how long have you been doing this? I mean, have you got a collection, a portfolio of these properties?
I've got 25 now, yeah.
You've got 25?
Yeah.
Wow, and how long has it taken you to accumulate all of those properties?
About 91 I started, but I used to work for a company from London, shop fitting, like all over the UK.
Yeah. So you were shop fitting. What were you, a joiner?
I'm a joiner by trade, yeah.
You are a joiner. So
Yeah.
you were doing it for everybody else and you thought, hold on a minute, I'm going to do it for myself.
Yeah, well, it's just on the side, really, when I bought the first one, you know, so... And I just continued from there, but since 2011, I've bought 10, you know.
So with this property here, the thing that really smacks you in the face is the smell of damp. I mean, how bad is that?
You know, I've done a lot worse properties than this, so it doesn't really... I just stripped them out completely and all new inside, so...
So you're going to completely gut this place?
Yeah.
You're going to really, really take it back to the bare brick, almost?
Yeah.
Chris is clearly not fazed by the problems here. So once he's got his dry house, then what?
French doors in the back there, probably.
Okay.
New kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this. I might make this back into 2 rooms. Yeah. And I might put the bathroom at the front and just use that small thing as a study area.
So why are you going to change the bathroom that's already upstairs to a different location?
Just to get a bigger bathroom with more facilities, and I'll probably put a shower cubicle in as well. And
I was thinking that you might have put a stud partition up somewhere and told me that you were thinking of converting this into a 3-bedder, but you're not going to do that?
I might consider that, but I've done other ones, but I think I'm probably going to put the bathroom at the front, but you'll see when you come back.
We will certainly see. The space where the bathroom is currently would probably be too small to be classified as a bedroom, but an additional study is usually welcome, and a good bathroom and kitchen might be more appealing to people renting, which is what Chris plans to do.
And what sort of budget have you got to spend here?
10,000, 10, 12,000, yeah.
And do you have to be really strict about that, or can you afford to go over a little bit?
It has to get finished, so it takes whatever it takes, you know.
Is this a process that's going to take you quite a long time, or do you just get in, do the work, get out, put it up for rent?
It's 10 to 12 weeks, I would think, you know, 10 to 12 in that region, you know. But it doesn't matter, it's just my full-time job anyway. The quicker, the better, but it takes however long it takes, and probably a little bit longer.
Chris is now reaping the rewards for steadily building his portfolio and doing most of the hard work himself. He's also overcome some big challenges along the way.
I had cancer in 2011, and thanks to the wonderful staff at the Freeman Hospital, I'm pretty good. I feel like I've got a new lease of life, you know.
Do you really feel like that? Do you feel like a totally new person?
I do, I feel great, yeah.
Do you?
Fantastic, yeah. Got a fantastic team around us who help. Got a lad works for us. You know, everybody, you know, we're all friends and all help, and, you know, it's thanks to them I'm probably where I am, you know.
It's been lovely meeting you today, and it's brilliant to see you looking healthy and fit and really enjoying your work.
Thank you.
And I look forward to having a look at how fabulous you can make this place when we come back.
Thank you very much.
No pressure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's pretty obvious that Chris isn't going to be fazed by anything that this house throws at him. He's been there, seen it, done it, bought the T-shirt. Although I do think there's an awful lot of work for that 10 to 12 week time scale. Do you think it might be too much to achieve? You can find out if Chris manages it later on in the programme.
One property down, but we're not done yet. Still 2 more to see.
Will we witness creative changes or catastrophic chaos?
It's a bit dramatic, Lucy. Whatever, let's find out.
Earlier in the show, I was just outside Peterlee in County Durham. The property I viewed was a smarter-than-average 3-bedroom terraced doer-upper. And when I did my sums on its potential, they produced some impressive results. Now, let's say you got this place for £20,000, which is the guide price, and you rented it out for £400 a month. You could have this place paid off in 4 years. This is an absolute bargain. Absolute bargain is right for anyone who's got the readies to part with, because there was no great hope of getting a mortgage, as there was no kitchen, just an empty room where one should be. The man with the money was metrologist Steve. OK, guys, I said metrologist, not meteorologist. Metrologists measure and calibrate things, and Steve got his measurements spot on with his phone bid. 20 grand, bang on the guide price. Normally, at this point, I would give you a list of things that need to be done. So here goes. He's going to fit a kitchen, and that's it.
Well, I've had a good look around the place. I've looked at everything that needs doing, and really it is just the kitchen. Everything else is in good order, and the kitchen's not a big problem to fit in.
So here's the jeopardy. Steve had a kitchen to fit and thought it wasn't going to be a problem and should take only 2 weeks. I get the feeling the next programme after us might be starting sooner than scheduled at this rate. But we're back 3 weeks later to see how he did. Are you ready for the big reveal? Remember, this is what the empty room looked like, and this is it now. Steve's agreed to take us through some of the finer points of the design.
Kitchen layout is a conventional U-shaped kitchen based on the actual general design of the kitchen, of where the actual window is and where the door is. The sink has been located slightly differently to where it was initially, or where it would have been, so to try and maximise the amount of light in. Fitted cupboard units. The hob and oven has been more centralised as well, to where the actual gas point was, which was over to this way. And we've actually fitted an extractor hob as well. We've also fitted a new LED panel light, which is low energy, which looks quite good.
Steve says the kitchen took 2 weekends to complete. The first weekend to order the bits, and the second to fit them. But whatever the size of the project, often unforeseen snags come to light to frustrate developers.
I haven't experienced any challenges or problems at all with this project. Everything just went according to plan.
How about the budget? In Steve's case, it was £1,000 plus a £500 contingency.
The overall kitchen pricing was £1,388 for the actual kitchen units themselves and all the auxiliary components to go with that, including the hob, sink and oven. There was some extra work that wasn't really planned, like the lighting and the tiling as well, and that cost an additional £130. And then the extra building work from professional builder was an extra £220. What was actually spent was £1,750.
Actually, for the sake of accuracy, I make it £1,738, which is more or less £250 over the maximum budget. Oh well, to get the valuations since the improvements, we called in 2 local estate agents. First, with an opinion on the kitchen, who better than the agent who saw it before the work began?
The kitchen's been fitted out really well, and I think for a developer, he's done well. He's done what he's needed to do.
It's clean, it's tidy, it's neutral, and it works.
Steve's decision to sell or let is going to be guided by the valuations. So far, he's spent £21,750. So what's the property worth now?
If I was to put this property on the market, I would recommend an asking price of offers around £39,950. If this property was to be entered to the rental market, I would recommend an asking rent of £450 per calendar month.
The resale for this property would be anywhere between £30,000 and £35,000. For the rental market, I think you would achieve somewhere around about £475 per calendar month to £500 per calendar month.
Taking the top valuations, that's a potential profit in 3 weeks of £18,200 before taxes and expenses. On the rental side, the top value equates to a whacking, wait for it, 27.5% yield. So what's it to be, Steve?
I think going off the two figures, the resale value and the potential rental income, I think it's best option to go for the rental income.
Steve will have to shell out £450 to the local council to become a landlord here, with the property being in a selective licensing area. He intends to keep developing and hopes one day to build his own home.
Back now to Newcastle upon Tyne and the area of Leamington. It was here that Lucy had a look around this two-bedroom property that had a guide price of £36,000. From the outside, it didn't look in great shape, and it held no false promises, because inside, it wasn't any better.
First things first, it absolutely stinks of damp. I'm sure a lot of the walls are wet to the touch, but look at this. I mean, look. There you go. Just peel the wallpaper off.
It's no good, it's no good, baby, it's no good.
Yes, our old friend damp ran throughout this property, but the spacious upstairs gave pause for thought.
But I'm wondering how you could utilise this. Is it worth putting in a partition and creating that third bedroom? Would you want to maybe install an ensuite bathroom in here? It's great you've got so many options, and I love it that it's so spacious upstairs.
The buyers were keen on auction day, with two bidders battling it out.
Sold at £49,500, thank you.
The successful bid of £49,500 belonged to Chris, a seasoned developer and local man. He already has 25 properties in his portfolio, including several properties in this area. But for his latest acquisition, he was keeping us guessing about his plans.
I was thinking that you might have put a stud partition up somewhere and told me that you were thinking of converting this into a three-bedder, but you're not going to do that?
I might consider that, but I've done other ones, but I think I'm probably going to put the bathroom at the front, but you'll see when you come back.
Make no mistake, inside and out, top to bottom, this property needed a lot of work to get it ready for the rental market that Chris was aiming for. He had estimated a budget of 10 to 12,000 and a timescale of 10 to 12 weeks to get the job done. We returned 10 months later, and straight away there is a great improvement to the front of the property. But what about inside? Unrecognisable. The transformation here is phenomenal. From damp and dated and dreary to contemporary, cool and clever. He created a singular kitchen diner by sealing the doors leading into the front living room and opening up the once pokey kitchen, and it works a treat. The living room now has its own entrance from the hall and, like the rest of the property, it's had a damp-proof course. It's been decorated to a high standard whilst also keeping the original features. Time to head upstairs, where I can't wait to see what Chris has done. Chris did decide to split the large front room into two, making this a three-bed property. The bathroom stays where it was, although it's completely new and looking great. Out the back, and it's looking much better. A brand new roof, not to mention the new guttering, will safe-proof the property against any future damp. Chris has really gone the extra mile here. He's created a property ready and waiting to be moved into.
I'm particularly pleased with the kitchen dining area, and the whole house I'm pleased with, but in particular downstairs I think the rooms look really nice, you know. I think it took about 16, 17 weeks or something. Obviously I just look at these houses, have a walk around, I don't have surveys done, and you know, I did throw up a few more things than what I thought, you know. And it's took a bit longer because of the, you know, the extra work with the roof and the damp, and you know, to be honest, it was more work than what I envisaged. It's been quite a tough one.
Yes, Chris didn't have a survey done, and the damage to the roof was much more than he originally thought. Plus, he was also working on not one, not two, but 3 other properties. So his timescale didn't quite go as planned. What about his £10,000 to £12,000 budget?
You know, it's probably in the region of £17,000 to £18,000 I've spent on it. And the extra money incurred was the cost of the new roof, and the floors, extra floor, you know, the renewal of the floors, and probably a bit of time on labour and that really that was took a bit longer, you know. But I'm still happy with the outcome, and hopefully the return will still be decent.
Well, let's find out. Chris has invested a total of £67,500 on this property that he hopes to rent out. But will 2 local estate agents think he's made a wise investment?
This is my first time in the property, and my first impressions are that I'm really impressed with the standard of finish throughout the whole of the property.
It's been a while since I've seen this property, but I'm really impressed with the quality of the finish. They've done a fantastic job throughout, and the property really looks great.
The property's been converted from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroomed house, and the layout works really well because you've still got a double bedroom at the rear of the property, whilst the 2 bedrooms at the front are really good proportions.
OK, so the agents are impressed. But what kind of value would they put on the property now it's complete?
I'd expect to achieve a price somewhere in the region of £75,000.
I would hope to achieve in the region of £80,000 for the property, potentially a little bit higher due to the standard of finish.
A sale price of £80,000 would mean a pre-tax profit of £12,500. But for now, Chris has his eyes set on the rental market.
I would think it would achieve in the region of £600 per calendar month, but because of the standard of the accommodation is so high, I would be prepared to test that a little higher with a maximum of £650 per calendar month.
We'd be looking at a figure of £650 per calendar month.
I'm going to try it with 650, but 600 still gives OK return. But...
A man of few words is Chris, but that top rental of £650 per calendar month would mean a rental yield of a whopping 11.5%. And with numbers like that, you can afford to let your work do the talking.
Well, from Scotland, England, to Northern Ireland to Wales, there are property auctions going on all the time.
We like to try and capture the action wherever we are.
Yeah, so please join us again here on Homes Under the Hammer.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
If you're heading to the supermarket today, how much are you spending? Well, you might be surprised. Learn how to eat well for less. The show that saves you money is back with a brand new episode next Wednesday evening here at 8 on BBC One. Next today, we're tackling neighbourhood blues.